He was fast, he could jump. I mean, he took Mark of the Year. He was highly skilled. He was very durable, very resilient. He was never scared. He never pulled out of a contest. You know, he could kick both feet, he could handball both hands. There was nothing he couldn't do. It's a real valuable tool. It'd be great for a coach to have a player like that in your side.
Lows the target. And Hart's taken an unbelievable mark. Sensational mark. That brought the crowd alive.
Brilliant one-on-one. You know, he could break the lines even back, you know, before that sort of was a term that was used. There was nothing that Benny couldn't do. He was the perfect player to have in your back line, and I don't say that lightly.
Can't mark. Good fist by Hart.
I think Benny had a good balance of training really hard, playing hard, and having some fun off the field as well. It was accepted in the mid-90s that you could have a beer after the game, and as long as your form was good, and as long as you got to training the next morning for recovery, and as long as you didn't get in trouble, that was all accepted. So Benny and I probably learned quite a few things in our late teenage years that perhaps the players of today aren't allowed to get up to. Honestly, from those mid-90s through to early 2000s was probably his real prime patch. When the ball went down there as a midfielder, you'd just about run to whatever space you could because you know he'd get it and you know that he'd find you. 98 I can speak closely of. Benny probably kept us in the game in the first half in the 98 grand final where North Melbourne were peppering the goals. I think it was 6-15 to 4-4 at half time, so blokes like Benny kept us in the game with the pressure they put on the opposition, and luckily they kicked in accurately, so Benny was probably best on ground in the first half. Could have won the Norm Smith medal.
Ben Hart.
Benny was good in big games. He was good in tight situations, and you know, big crowds like the grand final didn't worry him. He was terrific on grand final day, and you know, he was, as I said, one of the reasons why we're still in the contest. Benny definitely loved the game. You know, you couldn't imagine Benny doing anything else. Football was his life and what he wanted to do. I think all his friends were in football as well. You know, growing up in Adelaide, I think, and being here from 16, he didn't really have a different life. And, you know, it wasn't surprising. That's why he went into coaching afterwards and still is. Yeah, Benny lived for footy and he trained and acted around the club accordingly, and that's why he was brilliant at what he did. He was a rare human, a rare athlete, and just a brilliant bloke to play alongside of.
Dragged to the ground by Hart. Great tackle.
I think he'd be the best defender we've ever had. I think it'd be hard to argue that anyone is a more versatile, consistent, high achiever than what Benny was over a long period of time. For everything he did, you know, whether it was big players, small players, consistency, durability, performing at a high level. You know, he won a couple of best and fairest, 4-time All-Australian, and performed on the big stage. As I said, if you had him in your back line and you were a coach, you knew it didn't matter who the opposition had in your team, you had someone to stand him.
Oh, great mark by Ben Hart. Gee, that was courage because he knew he was going to get cleaned up.
Yeah, look, he thoroughly deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. You know, he's been a champion on and off the field. He's never done anything wrong. He's been a great role model for kids. He's been a fantastic leader of the football club for a long period of time. You know, a lot of the kids went to the footy looking forward to watching Benny Hart in the back lines, taking speckies and running out of defence. He's done a lot for AFL football. His ability as a footballer can't be questioned. There wouldn't be an opposition player that wouldn't say that Benny Hart didn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.